Hello and welcome to Dee's Media World. Today we're on episode 7 of my Inuyasha review series, Showdown, Inuyasha versus Sesshomaru. So this is basically the conclusion episode to the past two episodes, dealing with Tensaiga for now anyway. Dealing with Tensaiga and the whole getting the sword and who's the rightful owner and stuff. And we come back basically where we left off, where Kagome completely accidentally takes the sword out. Takes the sword out of out of whatever it was in, like a rock thing, whatever. Takes it out and she she takes it out completely accidentally. Sesshomaru comes over, and what's so funny to me is just the reaction that the characters have. Like Sesshomaru, I think, is the most surprised. He's like, this this girl, this girl, he goes over to he zooms to Kagome. Like the way that Sesshomaru like travels is really interesting because of course in the show it's like he can later on he like can appear as like an orb of light sometimes. So like he's about to kill Inuyasha and then they see the sword come out or whatever and Sesshomaru practically I don't even know what the heck dashes so to speak to Kagome and even scares her. She's like where'd you get over here so quickly? Um, Basically, and then he's him. He's like, okay, and then Inuyasha's like, Kagome, give him the sword or he'll kill you. He doesn't care about you. He'll kill you. And Kagome is ballsy, and I've already said that she has guts because most people have been like, here you go. I mean, it wouldn't have done anything if she gave him the sword because he can't even. Well, they didn't see that part actually. He can't even touch the sword actually. Like Inuyasha can touch the sword, he just couldn't pull it out. But um, like a normal person would have just given him the sword, like, okay, shit, you're gonna kill me. You're not gonna kill me today. But she's like, nope, and she practically gets into an argument with Inuyasha. I think I love is Shishomaru's reaction to that. He's just like, really, like Inuyasha, you put up with this, like this, you put up with this girl, like you even seem to love her. And of course, Inuyasha doesn't love Kagome at this point. It's way too soon. But you know, he's concerned about Kagome. You know, they're I guess you could say they're friends at this point and stuff. So um, Shishirama goes on. He basically is saying he doesn't have Kagome. He doesn't have their father's compassion for humans, and he doesn't understand it because you know Inuyasha's dad was in love with Inuyasha's mom. So you know, and Inuyasha's heart half human. He's putting up with Kagome. Shishirama was like, I don't understand this, and he kills Kagome. The one thing I wanted to comment about him killing Kagome is that I don't understand how the sword protected her when the sword when the poison was thrown like at her first and then she puts the sword like this is like the poison's coming out, she's like, oh my gosh, and she uses the sword to stop, but she actually seemed to have gotten hurt. My only thing, I understand her living, I just don't understand her not getting injured at all because to me I would have thought she would have suffered some of the consequences of the poison. But whatever, Kagome is like the one character in the show who never gets hurt. Like as we go on, you'll learn every character will get almost every character will get injured at some point, and Kagome very rarely gets injured. But I couldn't help but notice that. Um, After that happens, after they think Kagome's dead, Inuyasha, that's when Inuyasha actually can sort of fight now. Because I was saying Inuyasha can't really fight that well. But and he attacks Sesshomaru and he actually like hits Sesshomaru's armor and stuff. And even Sesshomaru was kind of surprised. But what's funny is Sesshomaru was like, okay, well if that's what it took for you to fight, I should have killed her sooner. We can actually get something going here. Which kind of cracks me up. He's so mean to Inuyasha. Um, and then there's this whole flashback about Inuyasha being a half breed and how like since he was a child, his mother knew his fate and he's known that you know it's gonna be a tough life for him as a half demon and things like that. He says this line to Sesshomaru. He's like, "I'm gonna take your gut." What does he say? I'm gonna pull out your guts and put them in a bowl, and it just cracks me up because it's so Inuyasha esque, like just to say something, like you don't prove it, you just do, you just like, oh, I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna do it. That's totally Inuyasha-esque. Um, Kagome wakes up like in the middle of their fight. She's like, whew, I thought it was a goner. I'm like, obviously us viewers wouldn't think she died because, I mean, duh. She's the main character. You know, Kagome's gonna be in the show, but it's still funny and she has no injuries. I would believe it more if he like threw something else at her, but poison. Like how did the shield protect her from poison? That was what I wanted to explain more because it didn't actually put up a barrier, literally, at least one that we can see. But and she seemed to be getting hit by it. I don't know. Anyway, when this happens, Sesshomaru is basically like fed up. He's fed up. He's like, all right, the shield protected her, and that pisses him off, which kind of cracks me up. And he turns into his demon form, his actual. Even though he is a demon, he has an extra form, I suppose. I don't think every demon on the show has this because I feel like when I watch the show, demons are basically what they already look like. But it's because Sesshomaru and Inuyasha's dad and Sesshomaru and stuff, they have like, since they are like they're upper class demons, I guess. They actually have like an actual animal form, I suppose. Because I know Inuyasha's dad can do the same thing. But basically, Sesshomaru becomes a dog demon, and it happens very rarely in the show. I can't even tell you how many times he actually becomes into that form. I know there's an episode where he almost did it because he was pissed off, but he actually didn't go all the way with it. But anyway, it's really cool to see it. It's really cool transformation. Like I really like it. It's just really cool. um, and then uh, Inuyasha tries to fight Sesshomaru, but he can't really fight him because he doesn't know how to transform to Tensaiga. And long story short, he pokes Sesshomaru in the eye, which made me cringe. My God, like even with the dull sword, I'm like, oh, that had to have hurt. That had to have hurt. They basically get up to the top of wherever they're fighting. Like the last episode, Sesshomaru was like, oh, respect the grave. This is our father's grave. I'm like, all their respect was gone when he found out that the sword protected Kagome because they're just straight up brawling at the top. Um, and stuff. And Sesshomaru, I wouldn't say he's really winning or nor losing. Like he bites and he practically, I don't know what he was trying to do. He can't really fight in that form, which is kind of ironic. I feel like he's a better fighter when he's his regular self than when he was his demon self. But anyway, he like bites and he I don't know, bites Inuyasha. They go up to the top, they fight. Inuyasha essentially, the sword basically transforms, or when he says that he's going to protect Kagome, and that's kind of the purpose of Tensaiga. As we later learn, the whole point of Tensaiga is really for Inuyasha to protect. I think they say at the end that it was for Inuyasha to protect his human mother, which how could he possibly? For starters, his mother died when he was a child, but let's say she didn't die. How would he have done that if he had no idea that the sword was in his eye? Basically, like I'm still not getting what his father was thinking with that whole arrangement, and not telling, at least telling Myoga. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. Um, but yeah, Tensaiga pulses and then, to say the least, Inuyasha cuts off Sesshomaru's arm. I want to say it's his right arm. I don't know. We'll see in a couple episodes. Again, I don't remember. Um, he cuts off his arm and it looks super painful. And then on top of that, he slashes Sesshomaru afterwards. I mean, dang. That's all I got to say. Inuyasha wins this fight. Of all the times that Inuyasha has a fight, I feel like this is one that was less based on luck. Because a lot of the time when Inuyasha fights, he can't really fight and he wins because of something that happens either at the last minute or he gets lucky or he uses his instincts. But this, it was a little less lucky. Like he actually was slicing the heck out of Sesshomaru's arm with no apologies either. And they leave. They leave, and Inuyasha puts Sesshomaru goes somewhere actually when the fight's over. We actually do find out much, when I say much later, like 100, like in the 100 episodes or so, like 132 or something. We kind of find out where he went to when that happened in this episode, but it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of interesting. Um, and Inuyasha puts the little black pearl back in his eye. And Mayuga basically says the reason Kagome could pull it out was because she was human. I just said that to protect Inuyasha's mom and stuff. And the end is like, it ends on a comedic note, which is typical Inuyasha fashion. That's kind of how you know like a little bit of an story arc is over if it ends with some comedy. And Kagome sits Inuyasha on the bridge, which has to be like the most epic sit she did in the show. I mean, she said sit multiple times once in one or two episodes, like sit, 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 like. But this one just cracks me up because it was so destructive. Like you had to. Who's gonna rebuild that bridge though? But Inuyasha and Kagome, they have a fight because Kagome's like, well, will you? I'll tell you the secret to how to will Tensaiga if you promise to protect me forever and ever and ever. To be honest, I laughed at that because I'm like, he's not gonna promise to protect you forever and ever and ever. But okay, even though he actually does, but you know, but it still cracked me up. Overall, I think this is a good episode. I think all the episodes are good. To be honest with you, there's different opinions about each, but this episode I like that we kind of get into Inuyasha's psyche a little bit. He grew up, he had a hard life. He was a half demon. He gets picked on. He's been outcast. His own brother, doesn't even think he's worthy of, being associated with him. All this kind of stuff. But Inuyasha, he doesn't let that get him down. He's still very prideful, and it takes a little bit of, that extra push from Kagome to sort of get him to, his full potential. And this is sort of just the beginning for him with the Tensaiga because later on in the series we learn different forms of Tensaiga and what that means and what it kind of means to protect someone and all that kind of stuff. So I really like this episode. I don't think I have anything extra to say. Jockin was his normal silly self and stuff. So I don't know. What do you guys think of the episode? Is it a good episode? Do you like seeing Sesshomaru in his full demon form? Would you want to see that more? Do you wish to see that more in the show? What do you think about Inuyasha having to protect Kagome in order to really get to his full potential? And the whole ridiculous idea of putting the black pearl in his eye, putting the tomb in the black pearl in his eye without telling him, but it was supposed to be meant for him to protect his mother, even though he had no idea this existed. But I mean, obviously it didn't matter because his mother died when he was a child. But how that whole ridiculous process goes on. And I always thought, like, it's such a stretch. Okay, like his dad did some serious planning. Like I don't know how he pulled that off, but I actually, it's kind of one of those things you don't need to know, but I am curious, a little curious. So that's it for the now. I guess I'll see you guys next time with episode 8. Ta ta for now.